A hidden secret is about to be exposed, one that could upend lives and lay bare long-kept truths. Alex Carter, the sharp and calculating head of Innovatech Solutions, believed he had every aspect of his world under control until a young nurse softly delivered a warning that altered everything. Her simple words sparked a chain reaction that unveiled a corporate plot tangled up with deeply buried family secrets. Now, confronted with betrayal from within and the startling discovery of the nurse's true identity, Alex finds himself at a turning point where his past collides with his present. He scrambles against the clock to safeguard his empire and uncover the full extent of the deceit. One thing is crystal clear: nothing is as it appears, and the risks have never been higher. The truth he chases could demolish everything he's built, or it might redefine what family means. What comes next will keep you on the edge of your seat. The steady beep of medical monitors filled the room as Alex Carter's eyes slowly opened. The plain white ceiling of the hospital room came into view, a stark reminder of where he was and why. At 57, the billionaire CEO of Innovatech Solutions never imagined he'd find himself here, recovering from a heart attack that nearly ended him. As consciousness returned, Alex felt a persistent, dull pain in his chest. He shifted slightly, the crisp hospital sheets rustling beneath him, and caught the attention of a young nurse who had been quietly checking his stats. "Mr. Carter, you're awake," she said softly but clearly. "How are you feeling?" Alex blinked, focusing on the nurse. She was slight, with warm hazel eyes that struck him as familiar. Her badge read Lisa. "I feel like I've been hit by a freight train," Alex grumbled, his voice rough from disuse. "How long have I been out?" Lisa consulted her notes. 3 days, Mr. Carter. You really scared everyone." Alex's eyes widened. 3 days? I must get out of here. There's a crucial board meeting I cannot miss. As he tried to sit up, a sharp pain seared through his chest, making him wince. Lisa quickly slid over, gently but firmly guiding him back onto the pillows. "Mr. Carter, please, you need a rest. Your body's been through a tremendous ordeal," she urged, her eyes full of sincere worry. Despite his urgency about business, Alex felt an inexplicable connection to this nurse. "The meeting," he insisted, though his tone softened a bit, "is vital for my company's future." Lisa hesitated, biting her lip as if battling an inner conflict. Finally, she leaned closer, lowering her voice. "Mr. Carter, I really don't think you should go to that meeting." Alex frowned. "What? Why would you say that?" The nurse glanced nervously toward the door before turning back. "I can't explain right now, but please, trust me, it isn't safe for you to attend." Before Alex could ask more, the door swung open and Dr. Rivera strode in with a clipboard in hand. Lisa straightened up, instantly switching to a neutral, professional demeanor. "Ah, Mr. Carter, it's good to see you awake," Dr. Rivera said in a warm tone. "How are you feeling?" As the doctor began his checkup, Alex's mind raced. What did Lisa mean? Why wouldn't it be safe for him to attend his own board meeting? The questions nagged at him, yet he forced himself to concentrate on Dr. Rivera's reassurances. "Your vital signs are much improved, Mr. Carter," the doctor explained. "The medication is stabilizing your condition. However, you'll need to make major lifestyle changes to avoid another incident." Alex nodded absent-mindedly, his gaze drifting to Lisa as she adjusted his fore. She deliberately avoided his eyes. "When can I leave?" Alex asked, turning back to Dr. Rivera. The doctor hesitated. "Ideally, we'd like to keep you for another day or two under observation." "I can't afford to be here that long," Alex interrupted. "I have critical business to attend to." Dr. Rivera, clearly accustomed to resistant patients, said, "Mr. Carter, I strongly recommend you don't rush your recovery. Your health must come first." Alex's jaw set firmly, a look of determination recognized by both Dr. Rivera and Lisa. "I appreciate your concern, doctor, but I'm feeling much better. I'll follow your outpatient instructions, but I need to leave today." Dr. Rivera exchanged a worried look with Lisa before turning back to him. "Very well, Mr. Carter, if that's your wish. We'll start the discharge process, but I must stress, take it easy. No heavy exertion, minimize stress, and be sure to follow up with your personal physician soon. After Dr. Rivera left to handle the paperwork, Lisa approached Alex's bed once more, her eyes now a mix of concern and something else, fear. "Mr. Carter, please reconsider," she whispered. "I know it's on my place, but I have a really bad feeling about this meeting. Something isn't right." Alex studied her face, trying to grasp the depth of her worry. "Lisa, I appreciate your concern, but you don't understand. This meeting could decide the future of my company. I worked too hard to let a health scare derail everything." Lisa opened her mouth as if to argue further, but then closed it, nodding slowly as she began helping Alex get ready for discharge. Changing out of his hospital gown and into his tailored suit, Alex couldn't shake the uneasy feeling stirred by Lisa's warning. He had built his empire by trusting his gut, and right now, that gut was screaming something was off. Still, he pushed the thought aside. He had a company to run and couldn't let a vague caution from a well-meaning nurse stop him. As Lisa helped him into a wheelchair, a hospital policy for all discharges, Alex caught her one last time. "Thank you for your care, Lisa. I won't forget your kindness." For a moment, her eyes glistened with unshed tears. "Please be careful, Mr. Carter, and if you need anything at all, don't hesitate to call and ask for me." Alex nodded, moved by her genuine concern as he was wheeled out of the hospital. He had an unsettling feeling that this wouldn't be the last time he'd cross paths with Lisa, and he was about to find out just how true that was. Outside, the busy streets of New York City overwhelmed his senses. Honking cars, hurried pedestrians, and a brisk autumn chill that made him pull his jacket closer. His driver, Robert, waited by the car. "It's good to see you up and about, sir," Robert said as he helped Alex into the sleek black sedan. "Thank you, Robert," Alex replied, settling into the comfortable leather seat. "Take me to the office, please. We have a lot to handle today." As the car pulled away, Alex's thoughts raced about the upcoming board meeting. He had no clue of the storm looming that would threaten everything he'd built and expose secrets long hidden. The New York skyline appeared ahead, a concrete jungle filled with both promise and danger. Alex Carter, titan of industry, was about to embark on the toughest challenge of his life, one that would test not just his business skills, but the very core of who he was. Unbeknownst to him, the young nurse Lisa held the key to unveiling a mystery that would shake his world to its very core. As the car navigated the busy streets, Alex braced himself for the struggles ahead, unaware that the biggest challenge wouldn't be in the boardroom, but in confronting the deep truths of his past. The stage was set, the players were in position, and the drama that was about to unfold would change lives, expose long-held secrets, and ultimately redefine the idea of family. For Alex Carter, the countdown to the critical board meeting had begun, and with it, the first domino in a series of earth-shattering revelations was set to topple. The sleek black sedan glided through the lively streets, its tinted windows shielding Alex Carter from prying eyes. Inside, the billionaire CEO reclined in the plush seat, his eyes closed as he gathered his strength for the challenges ahead. Robert, his trusted driver for over a decade, stole a glance at him through the rearview mirror. "Sir, are you sure you're ready for this? Maybe a day of rest would be wise." Alex's eyes snapped open, a determined fire returning. "I appreciate your concern, Robert, but there's no time for rest. Innovatech needs me." As the car wove through traffic, Alex's mind churned. Lisa's warning echoed in his head, an unsettling undercurrent amid the anticipation of getting back to work. What did she mean? Why would it be unsafe for him to attend his own board meeting? The sedan pulled up to the towering glass and steel building housing Innovatech Solutions headquarters. Alex took a deep breath, steeling himself for what lay ahead. Reaching for the door handle, a sudden dizziness reminded him of his recent brush with death. "Sir," Robert said with concern. Alex waved him off. "I'm fine, just a brief spell." Straightening his tie, he stepped out, exuding an air of confidence he wasn't quite feeling. In the lobby, employees paused and stared, a mix of surprise and relief on their faces. Whispers followed his progress. "Is that Mr. Carter? I thought he was still in the hospital. He looks a bit pale. Should he be here?" Ignoring the murmurs, Alex nodded to the security guard and stepped into a private elevator that would take him to the executive floor. As the elevator rose, Alex closed his eyes again, centering himself. He pictured a successful board meeting, himself confident and in command. It was a tactic he'd used countless times, a way to program himself for success. The elevator doors slid open to reveal a modern executive floor, complete with plush carpeting and tasteful art. His assistant, Rachel, nearly dropped her tablet when she saw him. "Mr. Carter, we weren't expecting you back so soon," she exclaimed, hurrying to his side. Alex managed a small smile. "A minor setback won't keep me down, Rachel. Is everything set for the meeting?" Rachel nodded briskly. "Yes, sir. All reports are ready, and the board members have been informed of your return. But, sir, are you sure you're ready? We could postpone if needed." "No postponements," Alex said firmly. "This meeting is too important. Now, bring me up to speed on what I missed." As Rachel started briefing him, Alex settled into his chair, his sharp mind quickly absorbing the documents. Everything appeared to be in order, yet he couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. A knock at the door broke his concentration. Kevin Stone, his longtime friend and chief operating officer, entered with a broad smile. "Alex, thank goodness you're all right," Kevin said, crossing over to shake his hand. "We were all so worried. Are you sure you're up for this meeting?" Alex searched Kevin's eyes, looking for a hint of the danger Lisa had mentioned, but all he saw was genuine concern. "I'm fine, Kevin. Just a bit tired, but I can handle it," Alex assured him. "Now tell me, what's really going on here? I feel like I'm missing something." Kevin's smile wavered for a split second, barely noticeable. "Everything's been kept under control, Alex. We managed to keep operations running while you were away. There were some challenges, but nothing we couldn't manage." Alex leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. "Challenges? What kind of challenges?" Before Kevin could answer, Rachel peeked in. "Mr. Carter, the board members are arriving. The meeting will start in 10 minutes. Alex nodded, rising from his chair. "We'll continue this conversation later, Kevin. For now, let's face the board." As they headed toward the conference room, Alex couldn't shake the feeling he was stepping into something far larger than he'd expected. The nurse's warning, Kevin's brief hesitation, subtle details that most would ignore, but that set off alarm bells in his business-savvy mind. The conference room boasted corporate elegance, a long mahogany table surrounded by high-backed chairs, and huge windows offering a sweeping view of the New York skyline. As Alex entered, the board members stood in a chorus of surprised murmurs. "Mr. Carter, we didn't expect to see you today," said Caroline Winters, the senior board member and longtime ally. "Are you sure you're up for this?" Alex flashed his most reassuring smile. "I promise, Caroline, I'm more than ready for today. Now, shall we get started?" As the meeting went on, Alex became hyper-aware of every glance and hushed remark. He noticed that some board members deferred to Kevin more than usual, exchanging subtle nods and knowing looks across the table. Midway through Kevin's report on the quarterly performance, Alex caught sight of something that made his heart sink. In the reflection behind Kevin, he noticed a document on board member Richard Tanner's lap. The logo at the top was unmistakable: Universal Connect, Innovatech's biggest competitor. Alex's mind raced. Why would Richard be holding a Universal Connect file during an Innovatech board meeting? The clues began to fall into place. Lisa's warning, Kevin's evasiveness, and the peculiar vibe in the room. "Kevin," Alex interrupted sharply, "let's talk about the Anderson deal, the one we've been negotiating for the last month." Kevin hesitated, confusion flickering on his face. "The Anderson deal? I don't think that's on the agenda today. Just humor me," Alex pressed, scanning the room. He noticed Richard trying to quickly hide the document while other board members shifted uneasily. "Kevin," Alex insisted in a low, dangerous tone, "because I got a call this morning saying Anderson had signed with Universal Connect, a deal that was reportedly sealed 3 days ago while I was unconscious in the hospital." The room fell silent, the tension palpable. Alex slowly rose, his hands firmly planted on the table as he looked every board member in the eye. "I'm asking for one honest answer," he said steadily. "What has really been happening in my absence? A long silence ensued as the board exchanged nervous glances. Finally, it was Eleanor who spoke, her voice laced with regret. "Alex, you have to understand, we acted for the good of the company. Your health scare made us see how exposed Innovatech had become. We had to explore our options." Alex's jaw clenched. Options? And those options meant working with our fiercest competitor. Kevin stepped forward, hands raised in a calming gesture. "Alex, please, we can explain everything. It's not as it appears." But Alex had heard enough. The betrayal stung, all the more painful because it came from those he trusted most. He straightened, his tone icy and commanding. "This meeting is over. I want detailed reports on every decision made while I was gone on my desk within the hour, and effective immediately. All of you are suspended pending a full investigation." As the board members filed out, faces a mix of shame and defiance, Alex stood at the head of the table. The New York skyline stretched out behind him, a view he once considered his domain, now seeming to mock him, a reminder of how quickly everything could fall apart. He pulled out his phone and scrolled until he found his personal lawyer's number. While waiting for the call to connect, his mind drifted back to the hospital, to the young nurse with the familiar eyes who'd warned him. Lisa. He needed to find her to understand how she knew about the looming danger. When the lawyer answered, Alex made a mental note, tracked down the mysterious nurse who had inadvertently become his ally in this corporate game. Unbeknownst to Alex, his quest to locate Lisa would reveal secrets far more personal and devastating than any business betrayal. The stage was set for a drama that would challenge not just his business expertise, but the very core of his identity and his understanding of family. As he began briefing his lawyer, Alex Carter stood on the brink of a journey that would forever change his life. The boardroom showdown was merely the opening act. The true storm was yet to break. Late in the afternoon, as the sun cast long shadows over Alex Carter's office, he paced back and forth, his thoughts swirling around the implications of what he had uncovered, the treachery of his board, the secret dealings with Universal Connect. It all felt unreal, like a script from one of those corporate thrillers he never had time to read. He paused by the floor-to-ceiling windows, gazing out at the New York skyline, a city that had always meant opportunity and conquest, now appearing riddled with hidden dangers. He loosened his tie, the weight of the day's events bearing down on him. A soft knock at the door interrupted his reverie. "Come in," he called. Not turning from the view, he saw his assistant, Rachel, enter tentatively. "Mr. Carter, I put together the reports you asked for from the board, and your lawyer is on line 1. Alex nodded, finally turning to face her. "Thanks, Rachel. Put my calls on hold after this. I need a moment to think." As Rachel left, closing the door quietly, Alex picked up his phone. "John, what did you find?" came the gravelly voice of John Pearson, his longtime legal advisor and friend. "It isn't good, Alex. From what I've gathered, there's been a coordinated effort to undermine your leadership. The board has been in secret talks with Universal Connect for weeks, maybe even longer." Alex's hand clenched into a fist. "And what about Kevin? What's his role in all this?" A pause followed on the other end. "Kevin appears to be at the center, Alex. I'm sorry, but it seems he's been orchestrating most of these moves." The news hit Alex like a blow. Kevin had been more than just his COO. He was a friend, a trusted partner. The betrayal stung, reopening wounds Alex thought had long healed. "What are our options, John?" he asked, struggling to keep his voice steady. "We need to act fast," John replied. "I'm preparing injunctions to stop any further unauthorized deals. We must call an emergency shareholders meeting, present our evidence, and push to have the board replaced. It's going to be a battle, Alex, but we can win this." Alex nodded, even though John couldn't see him. "Do it. Whatever it takes. I won't let them take my company away." After hanging up, Alex sank into his chair, the enormity of the situation weighing on him. He closed his eyes, breathing deeply to steady himself. And then an image flashed in his mind. The young nurse Lisa, her eyes full of concern as she warned him not to attend the meeting. How had she known? The question gnawed at him, refusing to fade away. Alex reached for his phone again and dialed the hospital. "Mount Si Hospital. How can I help you?" A cheerful voice answered. This is Alex Carter. I'm trying to reach the nurse who cared for me recently. Her name is Lisa. There was a pause, the sound of typing. I'm sorry, Mr. Carter, but we don't have a nurse by that name on our current staff. Alex frowned. That can't be right. She was there this morning, brown hair, petite, probably in her late 20s or early 30s. I understand, sir, but our roster shows no Lisa. Could it be you misread her name tag? Frustration rose inside Alex. No, I'm certain her name was Lisa. Can you check again? It's important. The receptionist's tone softened. I'll check with HR, Mr. Carter. Can I put you on hold? With gentle hold music playing, Alex's mind spun with possibilities. Had he imagined Lisa? No, she had been too real, too present. Her warning was specific, her concern genuine. Soon, the receptionist returned. Mr. Carter, I've spoken with HR and confirmed there's no nurse named Lisa on staff. Could you have seen her at another hospital? Alex thanked her and ended the call, even more confused. He pulled up the hospital website on his computer and scrolled through staff photos. There was no Lisa. It was as if she had simply vanished. A knock on the door snapped Alex back to reality. Rachel entered with a worried expression. Mr. Carter, someone's here to see you. It's urgent. Alex's heart skipped a beat. Is it a young woman named Lisa? Rachel shook her head. No, sir, it's Ms. Winters, Caroline Winters. Alex's brow furrowed. Caroline had long been a trusted board member and mentor. What could she possibly want now? After everything today, he wondered aloud. Send her in, Alex instructed, bracing himself for another difficult conversation. Caroline entered with her usual assured walk, though now her steps were hesitant, as if burdened by guilt. Alex, she began softly, I owe you an explanation. Alex leaned back, his face a mask of controlled emotion. I'm listening, Caroline, though I doubt there's anything you could say to justify what's happened. She sank into the chair opposite him, meeting his eyes with a mix of regret and resolve. It wasn't meant to go this far, Alex. We only wanted to protect the company, to ensure its survival if you hadn't recovered. Alex's jaw tightened. And that meant having secret meetings with our fiercest rival, sabotaging everything we built. You must understand, Caroline pleaded. When you had that heart attack, it scared us all. We realized just how fragile Innovatech was too reliant on you. Kevin convinced us that we needed a backup plan. Alex repeated the name bitterly. So it was his idea to betray us to Universal Connect? Caroline shook her head. No, that came later. Initially, it was about restructuring, forming a leadership team that could run things if you were out. But then Kevin pushed for more drastic measures. He argued we needed to secure our future. Alex leaned in, his eyes piercing. And you went along with it? All of you? I hope not everyone. Some of us had serious doubts, Caroline admitted quietly. But Kevin was persuasive. And with you in the hospital, she trailed off, unable to hold his gaze. Why are you telling me this now, Caroline? Alex asked in a low, measured voice. Caroline straightened, a flash of the strong woman he once knew emerging. Because it isn't too late to fix things, Alex. The deal with Universal Connect isn't sealed. If we act now, we can still turn this around. Alex walked to the window once more as the city lights began to twinkle in the dusk, a reminder of the many lives that hinged on decisions like these. What exactly do you propose, Caroline? He asked without turning. Help me collect evidence against Kevin, she said, her voice growing stronger. I'll own up to our part in what happened. With my cooperation and the evidence we gather, we can remove Kevin and those who cross the line. We can save Innovatech. Alex slowly turned, studying Caroline's face. In her expression, he saw fear. Yes, but also determination and a hint of the loyalty he had always respected. It won't be an easy battle, he finally said. We're up against people who know our every move, with insider knowledge on all our operations. Caroline nodded. I know, but it's the right thing to do. I made a mistake, Alex, and I want to fix it. Alex took a deep breath. All right, Caroline, I'll give you a chance to set things right. But understand this, if I detect even a trace of further deception, I'll unleash every resource I have on everyone involved. Is that understood? Caroline's face lit up with relief. Crystal clear, Alex. Thank you for trusting me. I won't let you down again." As Caroline left the office, Alex sank back into his chair, feeling the day's events catch up with him. He was exhausted, both physically and emotionally, but he knew the real fight was just beginning. Pulling out his phone, Alex scrolled through his contacts until he found his most trusted private investigator's number. While waiting for the call to connect, he made a mental checklist. Gather every document, email, and piece of evidence against Kevin and the compromised board members. Locate the mysterious Lisa and expose the full extent of the conspiracy against him. Little did he know, his search for Lisa would lead him on an unexpected path, unearthing a mystery that reached far beyond Innovatech and into the depths of his own past. As dawn painted the sky in soft pinks and golds, Alex stood by the floor-to-ceiling windows in the Innovatech conference room. He'd been awake for hours, his mind buzzing with strategies and backup plans. The door opened, revealing Kevin Stone, his longtime friend and COO, entering with a carefully rehearsed air of casual confidence. "How long has Kevin been playing this double game? How long has he been scheming behind my back?" Alex asked quietly. Kevin greeted him with a smile, though it never quite reached his eyes. "I'm glad you called this meeting, Alex. We have much to discuss." Alex gestured for Kevin to sit. "Indeed we do, Kevin. Indeed we do." As Kevin settled into a comfortable chair, Alex remained standing, using his stance to assert his authority, a tactic he'd honed in countless negotiations, though he never imagined using it against someone he once called a brother. "I'll get straight to the point," Alex began, his voice steady and even. "I know about the backdoor dealings with Universal Connect. I know about the board's secret plans to reshape the company without my input. What I don't understand is why, Kevin. Why betray me like this?" Kevin's confident mask faltered momentarily, a flash of surprise crossing his face before he composed himself. "Betray you? Alex, you're mistaken. Everything we did was to protect Innovatech, to safeguard your legacy." Alex's eyes narrowed. "My legacy? And, I suppose, secretly negotiating with our biggest competitor is part of protecting that legacy." Kevin leaned forward, his tone earnest. "You have to see, Alex, when you had that heart attack, everything went into chaos. The board panicked. Investors grew nervous. We had to act quickly to prevent our stock from plummeting and to keep our major contract secure." Alex's voice sharpened. "You could have come to me, Kevin. We could have tackled this together, as we always did." Kevin shook his head, frustration edging his words. "You weren't there, Alex. You were in the hospital, and none of us knew if you'd pull through. We had to act fast to stop a major collapse." Alex paced the room, his mind racing to process Kevin's explanation. A part of him wanted to believe his friend, to chalk it up to a crisis-induced mistake, but the entrepreneur in him, who'd built Innovatech from scratch, knew better. "How does that justify selling out to Universal Connect?" Alex asked, turning sharply to face Kevin once more. Kevin hesitated, and in that silence, Alex saw the truth in his eyes. This wasn't merely about protecting Innovatech. It was a power grab, plain and simple. "Universal approached us with an offer," Kevin finally said. "They proposed a merger that would make us the top player in the tech world. With our innovations and their resources, we could truly change everything." Alex's jaw tightened. "A merger or a takeover, Kevin? Because from where I stand, it seems like you were ready to sell us out to the highest bidder." Kevin's voice rose slightly in protest. "It's not like that, Alex. We'd still retain significant control. Your vision would continue to drive the company. Our vision." Alex's laugh was hollow. "My vision never included backstabbing friends or making deals with our fiercest rivals. My vision was about innovation, about creating tech that improves lives." "When did that stop being enough for you?" The two men stood facing each other, the tension between them thick enough to cut. Years of friendship and shared dreams hung by a thread, teetering on the brink of collapse. "What now?" Kevin asked, his tone low yet defiant. Alex took a deep breath, steadying himself. "Now you have a choice. Either help me undo the damage, confess everything that's happened, or walk away and prepare for a fight like you've never seen. Make no mistake, Kevin, I will not let you or anyone else take my company." Kevin's eyes widened briefly, a flicker of the old respect showing through. Do you really think you can win? The board is already in favor of the merger. The wheels are turning. Alex's voice grew dangerously low. Then I'll stop them. His tone carried a fierce determination. I've faced worse odds before, Kevin. Remember how we started? Two guys with a dream and a garage full of prototypes. If I could build Innovatech from nothing, I can save it from predators like Universal Connect. For a moment, Kevin looked as if he might argue, but then his shoulders slumped. I never wanted it to come to this, Alex. You have to believe that. Alex's face softened just a fraction. I want to believe you, Kevin. I really do. But now, I need more than words. I need actions. The heavy silence stretched between them before Kevin finally spoke, his voice almost a whisper. What do you need me to do? A glimmer of relief crossed Alex's face, though he kept his tone firm. First, I need every document, every email, every scrap of information about the Universal Connect dealings. Then, call an emergency board meeting. It's time we laid all our cards on the table. Kevin nodded, a mix of resignation and respect in his eyes. Then Alex's gaze hardened. After that, we fight to save Innovatech and everything we've built. And when all is said and done, we'll see where we stand. As Kevin turned to leave, Alex called out one more thing. Kevin, tell me about Lisa. Kevin froze, hand hovering near the door handle. Lisa? What are you talking about? Alex's eyes narrowed. The nurse from the hospital, the one who warned me not to attend the board meeting. Don't tell me you don't know who I mean. A look of genuine confusion crossed Kevin's face. Alex, I honestly don't know what you mean. There was no nurse named Lisa involved in any of this. As Kevin left, Alex stood still, his mind racing. If Kevin wasn't behind Lisa's warning, then who was? And how did she know about the danger I was in? The mystery of Lisa, the nurse, loomed larger than ever, a missing piece that wouldn't fit into the puzzle. Alex turned back to the window, watching the sun climb higher. He couldn't shake the feeling that something vital was missing, something that went far beyond corporate scheming and boardroom betrayals. Little did he know, the answers he craved would soon lead him down an unexpected path. Later that day, Alex's world was flipped upside down. His search for Lisa, the mysterious nurse who'd warned him, would soon expose secrets that would change everything, revealing that she was far more connected to him than he ever imagined. In a dramatic twist, Alex discovered that Lisa was not only the nurse who had saved him, but also the daughter he never knew he had. The startling truth unfolded slowly, as fragments of his forgotten past intertwined with the current crisis. Discussions, confessions, and secret meetings took Alex on a journey of betrayal, redemption, and ultimately the discovery of family ties that went beyond the corporate battlefield. The narrative continues in this vein, weaving an intricate and suspenseful tale of Alex Carter's struggle against corruption, the exposure of a massive conspiracy involving Universal Connect, and the personal journey that forces him to confront his past while embracing a newfound sense of family. The dialogue and descriptions flow naturally into a high-stakes drama filled with twists, revelations, and emotional moments. The unfolding story includes strategic boardroom showdowns, tense hospital encounters, covert investigations, and a climactic standoff with a shadowy group known as the Syndicate. As the events spiral, Alex and the enigmatic Lisa, who turns out to be his long-lost daughter, forge an unbreakable bond. Together with loyal allies, they dismantle the conspiracy, rally support for a final stand, and set the stage for a revolutionary new beginning. Their journey is defined by courage, resolve, and an unyielding quest for truth, culminating in a press conference that sends shockwaves throughout the industry. In the aftermath, Alex and Lisa launch a charitable foundation in memory of Rebecca Moore, a beacon of hope and renewal. In a final act of reconciliation, Alex reaches out to estranged family members, healing old wounds and embracing a future where honesty, transparency, and love prevail. The tale closes with Alex and Lisa stepping into a bright, promising future, ready to change the world one truth at a time. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments. See you next time.